Previously on me reviewing episodes of Doctor Who. Series 11 sucks, Chris Chibnall's a terrible writer. I'm no longer interested in this program. To be fair, I've barely paid attention to it since they brought Gallifrey back. Series 12 opening episode wasn't bad though. And now the gripping conclusion. Well, I have a lot to say. Spyfall Part 2 rounds off the opening story of Doctor Who Series 12. For those who haven't seen the episode yet, I will be staying spoiler-free up until I say the spoiler warning. There will be warning in advance, so if you get spoiled through this video, well, you're an idiot. Once again, this video is sponsored by NordVPN, and you can get 4 months free with a 3-year subscription by using my discount code. Everything you need is in the description below, so check it out. Alright, onwards. I was pleasantly surprised by part 1 of Spyfall for Doctor Who Series 12. The episode had an air of momentum that I felt was missing from most Series 11 episodes, and the whole thing just felt a whole lot tighter than it did with Series 11. It wasn't perfect though, I still have problems with the 13th Doctor, and I still have issues with how much of the story is given through exposition, and it did have a couple of dumb moments. But overall, it felt like a return to form for Doctor Who. Something that felt more like a grand high-stakes adventure. So we leave part 1 with the revelation that O is actually the Master. The Doctor has been vaporized by the new aliens into an unknown dimension, and Ryan, Graham, and Yaz need to escape a falling plane which Cockpit has just blown out. It's a classic case of how are they gonna get out of this one. Now, there's nothing I can talk about this episode spoiler-free beyond this. So here's what I'll say. The sense of momentum from the previous episode is maintained well here. The payoff with the Master is pretty simple. It results in a very simple story that kind of splits off on two divergent tangents. I like this. We've got kind of the A story and the B story, and that's something Doctor Who hasn't done for a while. At least not quite on this scale. Sacha Dhawan is a scene stealer as the Master, and I really hope we'll be seeing more of him after this. And he certainly leaves his mark as a very crazed, very hot-headed version of the character, and you can tell that he's having some terrific fun with this performance. This was something seriously missing from Series 11 up until Resolution. A mean, scenery-crunching villain. Writer Chris Chibnall doesn't really delve too far into the lore of the Master, and this is a pretty back-to-basics take on the character, which some might be disappointed by, but I think this was just what it needed to be. A nasty, nefarious nemesis for the 13th Doctor. He is incredibly antagonistic in this role. The 13th Doctor definitely has to sober up a little bit this episode. I still find the whole characterization of 13 to be iffy, and I still find that the 13th Doctor is the weakest aspect of the show, but she does get in a few great moments in this episode, to be fair. Ryan, Graham, and Yaz maintain that split from the Doctor character dynamic, and they all get a chance to shine, and we get to see their personalities conflict and contrast a little more. Though I will say I do feel their story moves a little bit too fast in places in this episode. This episode opens up a lot of questions with very blink and you'll miss it answers. It's not perfect, but it's definitely a very fun, very enjoyable, and pretty dark in places opening story for Series 12, and absolutely leagues above anything from Series 11. If, like me, you were feeling very alienated by Series 11, this is a good time to tune back in, I guess. The next episode looks a little weird, I hope they don't drop the ball, but this is a promising start. Okay, going into spoiler territory now. Sorry I couldn't say more about it, but it is that kind of story where literally it ended on a massive life or death cliffhanger. I can't give anything away for this episode. Okay, so the very bright aliens that we met in the last episode are the Kasavin, who can kind of act like windows. When they touch you, you get transported to their own dimension, but when you meet them in that dimension, they can take you all kinds of places. And in that dimension, the 13th Doctor meets up with, I'm crap with names and history, but a lady who was integral to the pioneering of computer technology in the 1800s. Also, the 13th Doctor talks to herself a lot. I know it's pretty normal for the Doctor to talk to themselves, but in this case, the Doctor actually talks back too. It's kind of weird. Kind of got like a split personality thing going on there. I wonder if that will be elaborated on. Just did a quick Google search. The lady the Doctor meets up with is Ada Lovelace, and the two get transported to the 1800s, where they encounter the Master, and a confrontation ensues. The Master is basically chasing the Doctor throughout all of history to kill her. So it's kind of like a No Country for Old Men sort of thing, but throughout time. That is awesome. This also sees the Master in World War II Paris, where she teams up with Noor Inyad Khan, a pioneer of the Morse code, and at the same time, while hunting them all down, the Master is dressed up like a Nazi. Now, I did have questions, but as soon as I went to Google, could an Asian man be in the German military during World War II, they explain that there's a perception filter, and the way the Doctor deals with the Master here, by literally disabling that, well, that's a little macabre. During all this, though, there is a lot of exposition going on. A lot of the Doctor introducing us to these historical figures through a big wall of dialogue. Right, so on the B side, basically, the Doctor, because she's in different points in time, is able to make a rescue plan for Ryan, Graham, and Yaz ahead of time. So let's flip over to their side of the story. Well, fortunately, the plane rescue is not just a Deus Ex Machina. It's actually pretty well done. And then when they get back on land, Mr. Barton, who's actually in cahoots with the Master, is still after them. But because he's the owner of the biggest search engine in the world, of course he's able to find them and makes them fugitives from the law. They're now on the run. Now, I must have missed something here, but this part of the story definitely went way too quick because, well, I was looking away for 5 seconds and then suddenly Graham has lasers in his shoes. Okay, what? But I like their whole thing of them being fugitives running from the law, and we finally find out what the evil plan of Mr. Barton and the Master actually is. Use the Kasavin to erase clean the DNA of every single human being, using the data that they consented to being taken. There's a clear attempt to sort of agree to Cookie's policy subtext here, but I gotta admit, it doesn't land. Basically, human DNA, they want to use it as storage, but for what? It's never really answered. They could use a little bit of layering with those evil plans. Heck, Mr. Barton doesn't even really get much of a defeat in this episode, just kind of slinks off. It's implied that the Master had to escape the Holocaust, though, to get to Mr. Barton to see the evil plan through. I love how he goes from Nazi officer to Holocaust survivor. That's only Doctor Who, really. Only they could do something like that. So the Doctor gives us a wall of exposition about how she made a virus for the devices, and basically, the Master and Mr. Barton's plan fails. She also outs the Master's plan to use the... oh, what's their names again? Aliens, the light window people. And they get revenge on the Master by trapping him in their dimension. But there's something the Master told the Doctor back during World War II. He told her that Gallifrey had been destroyed again. I guess that's a bit of a parallel to when Missy told the 12th Doctor that she found Gallifrey. I gotta ask though, how did the Master find Gallifrey? Sure, the Doctor has the coordinates, but the Master doesn't. And that's where we get the big twist. They did something that I really wanted to happen, but never thought would. They re-destroyed Gallifrey, and I'm absolutely thrilled about it. Chris Chibnall, you absolute fucking mad lad. You've only gone and retconned the most egregious retcon we've ever had. Okay, well, not retcon, but, you know, put back in place. Destroyed Gallifrey, and PTSD Doctor is reinstated. The Master destroyed it. It's not quite as good as the original Time War story, but still, I'll take it. It's a compromise. I'd like to think that the Master summoned the Daleks to do his dirty work. But, like, what an impression to make. We got the new Master, and one of the first things he does is destroy Gallifrey. Obviously, we didn't get any answers as to where he takes place in the Master's timeline, so it would be a crazy thing for Missy to have redeemed herself and then to just blow up Gallifrey as soon as the next regeneration comes along. It's not as blown up as it was before. It's not like it's, you know, in pieces or anything. It's just, it's wrecked, it's ruined. There's no Time Lords left, which is going to set up a new interesting character arc for the 13th Doctor, something we've been needing. It's such a course correction that I have whiplash. The whole thing is a little bit all over the place, but was I entertained by it? Heck yes. Did I enjoy it? Heck yes. Did I like a lot of the ideas that were in there? Yes. A lot of it felt pretty Moffat, actually. Did Stephen Moffat co-ghostwrite this? So yeah, overall, it's convoluted, it has its issues, there's a lot of exposition problems in there. Sonic Screwdriver didn't get much use though, that's good. The character dynamics with Ryan, Graham, and Yaz, massive improvement from Series 11. There's been a nice big seismic shift, like big stuff has happened. Big stuff has actually happened. After complaining after every episode in Series 11, oh, nothing's going on, nothing's actually happening, they did it. Chris Chibnall finally got his dick out, and it's a whopper. Just thank you, God. It's not perfect, but it's a return to form for Doctor Who, and when is Doctor Who ever perfect? Only when Russell T Davies is writing it. Nah, I'm just kidding. It's very rarely perfect, but like this, it feels like Doctor Who again. Warts and all. So color me happy, color me back on board. This is a day to celebrate. So, Doctor Who Spyfall Part 2, heck, the whole story. What do you guys think? Comment below and discuss. And as always, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the like button, and in the description below are the links to my Patreon and my Twitter. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and have a great day. That's a cute outfit. Did your husband give it to you? Because you could get a way better costume from Zentai Zone. Check out their range of custom-made, tailored superhero costumes. Ridiculously good quality, value, and customization. Link is in the description below, as well as my coupon code CHANNELPUP, where you can get a discount off of your purchase. And while you're at it, why not get your suit designed by my talented buddy Dan from New Blood Dan's workshop? You can contact him via the link in the description below. Seriously guys, you do not want to miss out on your chance to be your favorite superhero and feel authentic and professional. And you don't want to miss out on that Channel Pup discount.
Can you feel the sunshine? Does it rise?